Hey, the future programmers! What I am about to show you right now is myself going through a job offer for a Java software engineer in an EU country to tell you what are the skills out there, what do you need to learn in order to actually achieve those skills and to impress your employers, and how to translate those hard-coded requirements to something tangible so that you can learn those and become a Java software developer as soon as possible.
So let's just get right into it and talk about this job description. So first of all, let's take a look at what we have over here. The job description itself, so the cookie cutter that we see on every single job, is they're seeking a motivated and enthusiastic junior Java developers to join our software development team. Yeah, I'll just disregard this, right? As a junior Java developer, you will work closely with senior developers. So that is a good sign. This means that there will be senior developers available for mentoring you. And out of everything that we have here, this is the only line that matters, that you will work closely with senior developers, so you can expect some mentoring in the company and some people will be there to help you grow. Then we've got the successful candidate must be eligible and willing to grow through SC/DV clearance. So security check essentially, right? And they will check that you have the degree that you're saying you do, that you have the past employments that you say that you do, and that you live where you actually live, right? This is a pretty standard procedure right now, especially if you're going into more secure areas or industries like fintechs, so financial technologies that take care of moving money, etc. So they want to make sure that they are getting people that are actually who they say they are. So I wouldn't worry about that one. If you have your record clean, it really shouldn't be an issue. Let's look into the key responsibilities. Develop, test, and maintain Java-based application according to project requirements. So this is very cookie cutter, so nothing new, but interesting part is the test one, meaning that you will need to learn how to create unit tests, how to create integration tests, what is the difference between each and one of those. Just a quick comment from my side, your code is only worth as much as the test that you write for it. So I would say that this is what you need to learn either way. But the testing here is the important thing. The other thing is essentially just come to work in code. Collaborate with senior developers to design and implement new features. We already talked about that one. Participate in code reviews and provide constructive feedback. It means that you will need to learn how to write the comments in your code, write the comments to other people about their code, and understand the code. Reading the code is actually the hard part. Writing the code is easy. So this is essentially what you will learn in your job. Troubleshoot and resolve software defects and issues. You'll be taking care of bugs, right? Write clean, efficient, and well-documented code. Assist in the development of technical documentation and user guides. So this means that the product, first of all, is customer-facing, and yet you will be writing some documentation. Stay updated with the latest industry trends and technologies. Yeah, I'll say that every single programmer should be doing this either way, so I don't really see this as a requirement. The most important ones are the testing part and the fact that you will be actually writing some technical documentation and user guides. Because writing clean, efficient, and well-documented code is, of course, a given in every job. But you don't always write user documentation. So that is also something to consider when going into a work like that. Qualification: bachelor's degree in computer science, information technology, or a related field. I will disregard that one. So I will just strike this through, and I will not be looking at that one, because don't be discouraged about the bachelor's degree or anything like that. Just make sure that you have proper skills and proper portfolio to showcase that you can actually do what you're saying that you can do. Good understanding of Java and object-oriented programming. So let's stop a little bit about this one, right? Good understanding of Java doesn't only mean that you know how to write a loop or an if statement. It means that you know what JVM is. You need to know what is a heap, a stack, what lives on each of those. You know what's actually present in terms of JIT, what is the multi-tiered compilation, at least you need to know what it is, how garbage collector works, how the collections work, what is the best collection to use for each use case, and just understanding of the Java core libraries that are present within the JDK. So I would say that this, apart from just being a cookie cutter one, I'm telling you what a good understanding of Java actually is, right? You can't be just like, yeah, I write the code and it executes. You need to know what is happening underneath and why are you doing something in such a way. Familiarity with Java frameworks and libraries such as Spring, Hibernate, etc. So this means that you need to know what is Spring Boot, how to configure it, using annotations, using XMLs, and how to properly use beans, use auto wiring, dependency injection, how to use Spring tests, what is Spring security, how to handle users, and what is MVC and how does it work, right? So quite huge, but this is Spring, right? Spring is one of the biggest frameworks if we are talking Java. So this is super, super important for you to also remember that learning Spring is going to be make it or break it in 90% of the jobs. Hibernate, so very similar to what we have with Spring, right? Because this is also a very big framework with annotations, with XML configuration. But here we also got some things around entities, creating them, knowing how to connect to the database, how to configure things, how to manage one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-many relationships, and how to properly write the entities in a way that is efficient, right? And how to create session factories, how to create sessions, transactions, and how does Hibernate communicate with databases. Knowledge of web technologies, HTML, CSS, JavaScript is a plus. So those 2 points essentially tell me that this is a company that has a Spring application that is using Hibernate to communicate with databases and has some stuff on the front end that is most likely done using Timeleaf, so a framework or rather a template engine that allows you to write some code and move things from Java controllers from Spring side all the way to the views that you have there. But in order to learn just basic of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, just head on over to freecodecamp.org to just do some projects and learn. Understanding of relational databases, MySQL, PostgreSQL, and SQL, very much related to Hibernate. Just install either one of those or both of those databases on your system and maybe create a project using all those technologies that we have here to showcase that you know exactly what you're doing. And I would expect that if you are going into looking for a job, you actually already have a project that uses all of those because they are key components of Java programming today and end-to-end applications that are created using Java. Basic knowledge of version control systems. This means that you need to learn how to create branches, how to commit to them, how to push to them, how to write proper commit messages, how to resolve some issues, for example, conflicts, right? How to do a rebase, and how to write some comments in a pull request, what even is a pull request, how to handle versions, how to go back to versions, and essentially all that is Git. All this can be learned by just doing a bigger project with your friend or somebody else that you can just contribute to. For example, if you Google open source projects, you can then just contribute to some beginner tasks that you can learn and work on Git. And then we've got some cookie cutter things like strong problem solving skills and attention to detail, excellent communication and teamwork abilities, and eagerness to learn and adapt to new technologies and methodologies. The most important one is excellent communication and teamwork abilities. Of course, if you start, you don't have excellent communication and teamwork abilities. Like, why would you have, right? But I would say that this is going to be measured during your interview by saying what are you actually able to do and how you communicate this, right? So if you have a problem with an issue, how do you communicate this? Do you get frustrated? Do you get easily distracted? Can you really say what you want to do and why in a way that is understandable for other people, which is the key part here for the teamwork. And then we've got some preferred skills that will make you stand out. Experience with RESTful APIs and web services. So essentially, how does internet work? How the communication flows, right? So what are the HTTP requests? What is JSON? What is XML? What are the types of responses that you can get? How to communicate with a REST API? What does make an application a RESTful application? And for example, maybe creating an application that uses REST controllers in Spring is going to be the way to go to create yourself some experience with RESTful APIs and web services. Knowledge of Agile Scrum development processes. So this one is something that I have a very fun story with, because when I first came into my first job, I had a meeting in a room called stand-up room, and I was like, okay, are we telling jokes here? What's happening, right? Why do we have a dedicated stand-up room? And a stand-up is a ceremony within Agile Scrum that is just updating about your progress, what do you have, any blockers, etc. But in the beginning, I didn't know that, so don't make my mistake and actually get to know what are the ceremonies within Scrum, what are the roles within Scrum, who's responsible for what is your place in that, and then maybe read Agile Manifesto, because it will really tell you what is going on with the development process of the product that you will be doing, and how to adjust for some things and understand all the lingo that is going around. Familiarity with build tools, Maven, Gradle, and CI/CD. So Maven Gradle you will need to use in order to be built Spring, Hibernate, and all those things, right? Already to handle the dependencies, but still knowing how to write Gradle tasks, what is a jar, how to create something like this, how to create a Gradle task, and how to build things and manage dependencies, what is the difference between test implementation, regular implementation, and why would you use this. And for CI/CD, just Google what it is. I think it would take you around 2 hours of watching YouTube videos and maybe, just maybe, creating your own CI/CD pipeline with Jenkins, for example, that you can create Jenkins file for and understand what is happening there. And of course, basic understanding of front-end frameworks, Angular, React is a plus. I wouldn't focus so much on it. And certificates. I would say that nowadays certificates are pretty much useless, so I wouldn't really worry about certificates. So I wouldn't just do that and I would cross this out and not care about it, because it really takes a lot of your time if you were to do a certificate, unless it is like a certificate for high-level debugging code or optimizing code within JVM. But as a junior, you really wouldn't know what does it take and what is required for that. You still need some basics to be able to go into jobs like that, because there are positions for optimizing Java code, but still they are super high level, so I wouldn't focus on that one. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I would say that this job offer is like 90% of the job offers for Java, and it is actually pretty simple but not easy to learn all of those. But you just need to create a proper portfolio that showcases that you have all those skills. And if you are stuck, if you are lost, just take a look at job offers like this, see what is required, and try to create projects that actually make use of them and learn all the skills needed to get a job. So yeah, that would be pretty much it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.